George Tsilis is with me, taking a look at these levels. Some of your thoughts on this action. Good morning, George.
Morning, Nicole. Well, I think the Japan trade deal is a big deal for the United States and Japan. I think the Trump administration seems to be holding out, at least the Europeans are as well, in terms of a deal by August 1st. But, this is a market that has been absent a news event or a catalyst because we've, I guess, been preconditioned if you consider what's been going on since February with all the headline risks. We really haven't had much to speak of in the past few weeks, with the markets really just trending slightly higher. But again, the markets haven't really moved much at all. But nonetheless, we're still in an accumulation phase where traders are buying the dip on opportunities. If you look at the Japanese market trading to the upside today, there's also, interesting enough, if you look at yesterday's price action, the NASDAQ really didn't perform well at all, moving to the downside all day. But the small caps, IWM, did perform quite well yesterday. And I think, that speaks to potentially what's happening with some rotation out of some of the mega cap names, which, interesting enough, we're going to be starting some of the big earnings today with Google and Tesla. But, with the IWM moving to the upside, there's still some dollar weakness out there. And overall, a couple of things to note is the industrial metals, slowly but surely, they've been moving higher, hitting some new highs. That includes silver, copper. If you look at platinum futures, those industrial metals have also been moving quite nicely to the upside as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have this big, massive deal with Japan, 15% tariffs and agreement there. We're seeing a lot of the Japan automakers like Honda Motor, Nissan, and also Toyota are up. Toyota's up over 12% this morning, so certainly nice move there. Thoughts on the U.S. dollar here at 97.27, just gaining ever so slightly. Is there a story there?
Yep.
Because we always talk about the yen carry trade. Where do we stand now?
Well, I think, looking at the dollar, we're still trending to the downside, so we have to follow the trend at least right now. I think that it really gives us an idea that, the industrial production the United States is improving, while at the same time the U.S. dollar being down suggests to me, from an economic standpoint, that we're financing the industry of the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is essentially a net exporter of the United States. So I think if you look at the global markets, the weaker dollars improve conditions, both in the emerging markets, Chinese stocks. Now we're seeing, of course, trade deals come about in places, big countries like Japan. So overall, that's been pushing the commodity space to the upside with the weakness in the U.S. dollar. That also could be why we're seeing, of course, strength in gold, Bitcoin as a proxy, if you will, or a share shift from gold to, of course, digital assets like Bitcoin. But one of the commodities that hasn't performed, if you look at crude oil, it's just stuck in this sort of trading range after the big jump up post tariff announcements going back to February, March. So I think it's interesting to watch potentially that for some participation in the weakness of the U.S. dollar. But at the same time, interest rates, we talked about this over the past couple of days, 10-year yields around 4.3% in the trading range. Maybe we're starting to see some indications that interest rates will be coming down. Perhaps that's why we're seeing a little bit of a share shift back to the IWM or small caps away from the NASDAQ. Again, a couple of days doesn't necessarily make a trend change, but it looks like there's some undergoing or underlying rotation occurring.
All right, and I did want to check on the semiconductors. Some of your thoughts there. We heard from Texas Instruments. That's been down about 10% in the early going. Should we check that out right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the SOX index, down about 1.3% right now. Didn't trade very well yesterday, including some of the big names, NVIDIA, AMD, all to the downside. So again, this might be essentially profit-taking and potential rotation that I mentioned just a moment ago in other areas of the equity space. Maybe outside of technology, old dinosaur sectors like utilities. If you look at XLU sector ETF, it's been moving quite nicely, breaking out to new highs on a 52-week basis in the past few days. So we may be seeing some rotation into, areas that are less prone to technology disruption or effectively technology megacaps. But I think this is going to be an important week. And again, next week, as we see some of the major names, Tesla and Google, to start to see how the market performs in the response to these earnings announcements coming up shortly.
Okay, George Tsilis, it's great to see you. So glad you're with us. Thank you so very much, George. We'll see you later.